Okay, so we're just reviewing a Blitz game I played yesterday. Fairly textbook. I played as white and I played a London style opening. I played at 83%. My opponent played at 64. Played as a 650. They played as a 250. Opening a middle game. There was no end game. So let's get into it. So obviously I start with d4. My opponent responds d5. I develop my bishop. Opponent develops their knight. All very standard stuff. So I push that pawn, ready to free up this bishop to come out. My opponent does the same, probably for the same reason. So I now pin the knight to the king. The most common response to this generally is to push it over the pawn, and that's exactly what my opponent did here. Generally speaking, I don't trade bishops for knights. I'd rather keep my bishops, but in this scenario, I took the knight because I take the knight, forcing my opponent to take back, ruining the pawn structure. So in this scenario, the best move was, in my opinion, to take the knight. So, yeah, I develop my knight. My opponent develops their knight. I proceed. Just trying to look for forks, really. My opponent pushes my bishop. So that's essentially a free pawn. So I then take it, and at the same time, then I pin my opponent's knight to their queen. So they then go to push it away with their rook. I actually capture. I take the knight. The engine says I should have moved it to safety, but I wanted to trade the material. So obviously my opponent takes back with the queen. I go there. Not a great move, but not the worst move. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to lose the knight, but it's not really doing much there. My opponent gives a check with the bishop, but that is now a free bishop because I'm just going to take it with the knight. So I take with the knight. My opponent pushes the pawn there, so I am now going to capture here and put some pressure on the queen. Yep, so now I've obviously got this. My opponent does this, massive mistake, because now I have this, which then forks this and this. So there we go. So I've now got a fork on there and there. So my opponent basically has to choose which piece they want to lose. Strangely enough, my opponent. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I take the queen. My opponent takes the knight back. A castle ready to get my rook in the game. They take. I move my rook over, ready to make a discovered check when I take here. They bring their rook down, so I do the discovered check. They move, do another check here, protected by this pawn. They move there. Another check, again protected here. They move over again. I think I'll give a check with the queen now on the diagonal. Yeah. And obviously the rook is protected. Nothing's taken the queen. And the king is slowly getting pushed over to the side. And then the king is in the most dangerous place. And there's checkmate. So yeah, I mean, no blunders, no misses, 2 mistakes, no inaccuracies, 2 big moves, 1 good, 7 excellent, 7 best, 2 great. No brilliance today, unfortunately, but yeah, relatively good game for me.